and I became a Muslim.
In secondary school?
Yes, sir.
You became a Muslim?
Yes.
Okay.
Then for 3 years, I was a very faithful, very pious Muslim.
Okay.
And then I gave up.
Who converted you
into Islam? I guess I just followed my friends.
Okay.
Yes. And then I gave up because...
Yes.
Yes. I did it for 3 years.
And why did you leave?
I wasn't satisfied. It is not to say that Islam is not a good religion. I believe in Islam, even as a Christian. But I think different people have different paths. And when you find a path where you are peaceful, you follow it, whether it is Islam or Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, or whatever it is.
You don't condemn other religions?
No, why should I? Everybody is a child of God. Right. Everybody is your brother or your sister. It's just that when you never met before. When you are introduced, you will find that you are brothers and sisters. If we say God created and then we are all God's children, why should I think that my brother called Kofi is a bad person when my brother called Erasmus is a good person? We're all brothers and we have different names. Yes. So I became a Muslim and I had nothing wrong with that. But because I wasn't satisfied, I decided in those days to be a free thinker.
Oh, I see.
Yes, I was a free thinker again from secondary, from 3 to upper 6.
Were you a free thinker in the sense of being an atheist? No.
I just said, well, I don't believe in a church. I don't believe in any institutional worship. But I believed in a God. And I didn't forget the early prayers I learned as a Christian. Once in a while, I go to the bush and pray. And I'm telling you my secrets. I shouldn't tell you all these things.
That's the whole idea behind the show.
I take time off and pray. For me, prayer was and still is very, very important. Right? It's very, you must have a healthy relationship with God. Whatever that healthy relationship is your own definition. So I define my God, and I've been following my God all these years, and it has worked out beautifully. So when I did that, up to upper 6, and I entered the university in 73. My biggest struggle was not my studies, but my relationship with God. I became a Muslim for 7 days again. It didn't work out.
7 days?
Yes, sir. And I went to see the university Catholic chaplain. Right. There was a priest called Father Costa.
Which university is this?
University of Ghana, Legon. Yes. I told him my problem. And he said, and I admire that very much, if you cannot be a Christian, be a Muslim. It's not good enough to just live without religion.
That's what the Catholic father said.
Yes.
He did not consign you to a religion.
No. He said you could become a Christian or a Muslim or anything, but belong to God. You know, you need a community that can help you grow. And I thought, this is a person interested in my soul, in my spirit, not just interested in converting me to his religion. And for me, that did the trick. I decided to become a Catholic again. I think it's not good enough to condemn anybody at all for his or her beliefs, because our beliefs is what fulfill us. And if you are fulfilled by any belief, why should I think it's wrong?
That's very deep. I'll take you back a bit. Which secondary schools do you attend?
Tamale Secondary School, and I'm very proud of that. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What was life in Tamasco like?
Well, it was very beautiful in those days. Now it's changed.
What did you used to do? What are some of the things you remember yourself?
Myself, first of all, I loved to do sports. I was a cross-country runner for my school.
Oh, wow.
I loved entertainments. I was one of the best entertainers for my class, my year.
Doing what? Dancing?
Singing and acting plays. I could just sit back and discuss a script with one children, and we go onto the stage and act it out. And I loved it very much. That was what I missed in the university. Yes. And then, of course, remember I said I was a very poor person. The school was very generous with supplying school uniform, sandals, exercise books, textbooks, food, and accommodation. Everything was absolutely free. But for that, I would never have been educated.
What year was this?
1966 to 1973.
66 to 73?
Yes, sir.
And that was even in the post-Kwame Nkrumah era?
Yes.
Nkrumah was out in 66.
February 66, that's right, yeah. Absolutely. That went on. But of course, the number of supplies kept decreasing. By the time we got to Form 5, the sandals were out.
Okay.
The school uniform was given. But in 6th form, they were not given school uniform. We had to buy school uniform. And for the first time, they were introducing pairs of trousers for 6th formers who were prefects. Okay. And I didn't have a pair of trousers. Oh, for my sake, everybody was suspended from using pairs of trousers for one term.
You couldn't afford them?
Yes, and I was a prefect.
Okay.
Yes.
What prefect?
I was Livingston House prefect, now Patterson House. Yes, sir.
Oh, interesting. I was in Livingston House in my school.
Wow.
So we have something in common.
Yeah, you see.
Wow. So for a term, prefects wouldn't wear trousers.
No.
Simply because you couldn't afford it.
Yes, and the senior housemaster who asked us not to start it was one Mr. John Bauer. He was one time regional minister during one of the regimes.
Okay.
Yes, may he rest in peace. Right. He told me that next time if you don't get a pair of trousers, we'll have to suspend you. Luckily, during the holidays, just before the next term began, I got a bit of money from people who helped me a little bit. And one of them was the present foreign minister, Mohammed Mumuni.
Was he in school with you?
He was in Legon.
He was in, oh, okay. When we were in sixth form. But did you know him in Tamale?
Yes, I met him when he was in Form 5 and I was in Form 1.
In the same school?
Yes, please.
Oh, he was 4 years ahead of you?
Yes, please.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Interesting.
So he helped me along with other people and I was able to get... Yes, and they helped me to buy a pair of trousers. So the next time I was the prefect.
Oh, my word. I see. You used to have a relationship with him?
Yes, although not very cool. Now he's a very big man. So I really hear of him, but once in a while, yes.
What's your most memorable moments in Legon, University of Ghana?
My most memorable moments in Legon was when I failed my examination. It's not a very happy, memorable thing. Yes. I failed my first year university examination.
FUE?
Yes, sir.
They called it at that time?
In mathematics.
Okay.
Mathematics was my best subject in the secondary school. And yet I failed it in the university. And that was a very devastating effect. But that helped me. For once I stopped my ambition of wanting to be at the top. And I decided then to find out the real meaning of wanting to find joy in life.
So you failed your FUE in mathematics. Yes. What were you offered in the first place? What courses were you offered? Medicine.
Yes, physics, chemistry, biology, and introductory mathematics, and then African studies. Okay. And I passed in all this but failed in mathematics. My best subject, the subject I loved the most. That, as I said, devastated me. But in the course of trying to find out why I should fail and what I loved most and how I can save myself from the trauma of failing or the trauma of not being satisfied in life, I discovered that when we are detached and we give of our best, then we are most at peace.
So what did you do with the mathematics? You rewrote it?
I rewrote it the following, in the long vac, and I passed.
So you went to medical school?
Well, in those days, you started with medical school. Yes, you just started with medical school.
Not like in our time when you had to qualify for medical school, even when you were in Lagos.
You had to qualify at A-levels. Okay. They had a minimum cutoff. Right. So if you qualified, you were admitted into medicine. That was it. But of course, if you didn't pass your examinations, you didn't go to your class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great, I see. So what year did you become a doctor?
1979.
Oh, 1979. Yes. Okay, all right. And that was here at University of Ghana Medical School?
Yes, sir.
Did you do any further studies?
Yes, I did my postgraduate studies in tropical medicine in Liverpool School of Medicine.
Okay, okay, I see. Wow. And then you came back home immediately?
No. I went to Zambia, where I did 2 years study under a distinguished English surgeon, Mr. James Keynes. And under him, I learned to do a lot of things that my colleagues would not ordinarily do. I could do cataract extractions, I could do thyroid operations, I could do prostate operations, I could do amputations, or below and above knee amputations, which we still do in our clinic. And I could do things like, opening the stomach, cutting part of it, and joining the intestines. Ooh. Yeah.
That was deep.
But I'm not a specialist, but I could do these things.
Do all of that because of who you train under. Yeah. And normally that's what happens anyway. It's who's
right.
feet you
yes.
said
On the spot training was very good for me. Yes.
And you practiced that when you came back?
Yes, I did. Yes, I still do. Some of them I've cut off because now there are better ways of doing cataract. I did it the old system, so if there are better ways, let the people do it. And right now, remember our position, or what I want to do is to be like a scavenger for the society. What nobody wants is what I want to do. If people can do everything we are doing now, I'm glad that they should do it. But what nobody wants to do, and the basic people need the help, I want to reach out to them and help out.
You got married at some point?
Yes, please.
What point?
Soon after I finished school.
Okay.
Yes.
To who?
I got married to a lady here in Ghana here, and her name was called Doris. Was Doris.
Oh, was?
Yes.
She's no more?
No, she's alive still, but we couldn't cope.
Oh, you couldn't?
Yes. A life like this can be very stressful for some people. Even if you are doing your best, the best you can, it may be very difficult.
So how long were you married for?
For about 24, 25 years.
Well, that's a long time to cope.
It's a long time to cope, but if you are having this stress for a very long time, it can actually destroy you in one way or the other. And that was not good at all for her, I thought. I thought she did her best, but it just couldn't work. Yes. I don't think everybody has this cup of tea for themselves. And I think...
Cup of tea called marriage?
No, this way of life. Yeah, my way of life, yes. Right. You see, for me, this is not a job. It is not a profession, it's a way of life.
It's a mission.
Well, call it a mission. I feel fulfilled in it. But I don't think everybody can be fulfilled in such a thing. Right. So if somebody has difficulties and is trying to cope and is having difficulties, sit down, talk about it and say, look, this is not for you, but I want to be in this field.
You've been talking about fulfillment during the break.
Yes.
What's your idea of it? And looking around, do you think there are people who are fulfilled?
I think they are, but they may not be in the limelight. There are a few people completely hidden. You know, I think elegy written in the country churchyard, a poem says that full many a flower is born to blush and sing and waste its sweetness in the desert airs. Of course, you don't see them, so you think they have never existed. They are there.
What's that poem again?
Elegy written in the country churchyard.
That is from the pageant of longer poems. And I know the elegy.
Yes.
It's about a poet who goes to a churchyard. A churchyard actually is a cemetery in a church.
Exactly.
Where he sees on the tomb
Yes, that's true.
something written about someone.
Yes.
And it says that this person may have died an ordinary person, but we'll never know the qualities that person had in him and etc. if we judge him based on where he reached. And that what is fulfillment is not just that which we think meets the eye and satisfies it. Today you've dug something out of the wells of my deepest memories. And so what for you is the meaning in that?
It means that there are many people who are really fulfilled in life, but they are unknown because the world does not sing them. By the grace of God, I'm here, but there are many people who are just as fulfilled as I am. There are the people who are donating regularly to help us. There are people in Ghana here who constantly would like to do something to help us. These people are also fulfilled, but they don't come to sit before the camera, so we don't know about them. I would never be here but for the support of my volunteers and also the support of the people who are behind the scenes making these donations. So even though I am seen, it's like an Ashanti king or queen being carried in a palanquin. Nobody would have seen the king or the queen, but for the people carrying him or her. So these people for whom who are helping us, I think that they are also fulfilled. Otherwise, they wouldn't be continuing to help us. There are not many, yes, but nevertheless they are there.